my final. Oh, we're done already. This is quick, man.
Chuck, I am freezing.
He gets one high in the air. Left field. This one's got a chance. And let's go on a cowhide. Joyride. Sound the horn. The RailCats clear the yard.
Hello, RailCats fans, and welcome back to the RailCats Talk podcast. He's Chuck Pluttock. I'm Kyle Savage, and today I didn't forget the beanie. The beanie is serving two purposes. One, to shove it in Chuck's face that he didn't get one. But see, I'm in an icebox. Being on the sunroom, I have a heater that's set at 90 degrees, and it feels like it's like 20 degrees in here right now. It's not 20 degrees, but it feels like it's 20 degrees. So I'm all bundled up. I got my nice,
I
I
got the
got
heat
it. I got my quarter zip, my RailCats quarter zip. I got a Blackhawks blanket because I need a RailCats one. I haven't got one of those yet. My wife does. I just don't. And then I got myself a beanie. Keeps me nice and warm. So it's serving purposes here. All right. I just need the gloves. I'm missing the gloves aspect of it, but I need it to feel
I've
around.
got a recliner that has heat, so
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
just sitting on a nice warm recliner
Good.
right
Good.
now.
Good. Good. Good for you, Chuck.
In the heat.
Well, well, it's not officially over.
Kinda
Um,
hot.
you 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 still have um the conference rounds and Super Bowl, but basically in Indiana and Northwest Indiana, football's done with. Congratulations to Indiana, and congratulations to the true IU fans that were IU fans from day one, not these flip flop people. They're like, oh, I'm a Notre Dame fan or I'm a Michigan fan. Oh, IU's doing good. Never mind, I'm an IU fan now. I have my own reasons behind that, but congratulations to Indiana. You deserved it. You put together a good program on that aspect of it, and it sucks for the Bears that they lost. Hurts
And
business, but
congratulations to Roger and
oh
his
yes,
his outfit there at Montana State winning their
yes.
championship.
First
With,
GM of the RailCats. If you don't remember that, we did interview him, so go back to that podcast and listen to three episodes, 3-part episode on that front. So Chuck, we
yeah,
left last week's podcast and you were a tad bit disappointed because you were expecting some big
I said
signings.
again, I said, if you're listening to this, Jeff, call up these guys and bring back some of our guys. And I would say that it was me that did it, but he started signing right before we released the podcast. So I think he might have my phone bugged, um, or my computer. I checked it for spyware because I think he might be in on this to see what's going on. So, but yeah, we got some. I'm excited.
Six signings since the last podcast, and all of them are returners.
Right.
So that's big. So I'll just go ahead and get into it, and I kind of broke it down to like just a handful of stats, like what they did with the returners, more or less like what they did before hitting Gary, and then what they did last season with Gary, and then Jeff's quotes. I will get through. There's gonna be one that we'll pause on because it's interesting, but then we'll get into the thoughts, okay?
Okay.
So first one is Carlos Machado. He plays right field, left field, center field. He's 27 for Venezuela. He was signed by the Houston Astros in 2014. He played 6 seasons in the minors, over 250 games, and let's see, notable 269 hits out of 919 at bats. He slashed a 293, 339, 363, and an OPS of 707. He had 6 home runs, 102 RBIs. Last year with Gary, he was hurt, so he didn't play a full season. But in those 38 games, he had 139 at bats, 19 runs, 40 hits, 2 doubles, 1 home run, 11 triples, 1 stolen base, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. He slashed a 288, a 317, 367, and an OPS of 684. This is what Jeff had to say. Carlos is a contact heavy player. He dealt with an injury and still had a good numbers. I would love to see a full season from Carlos. I get I thoughts thought I like
Uh,
from what
Carlos had a bad shoulder injury last year, and you could see that when he would take some swings, make contact, you could see that he was in a lot of pain. And so I like those numbers, knowing that he's injured or he was injured. Um, it'll be great to see what's going on. I knew about this signing about a week before it was released. Um, that Carlos had reached out to Jeff and said, "Hey, I'm getting offers and I want to play for Gary." And Jeff said, "All right, let's make it happen." So uh, that was the first to drop, and definitely a surprise because I didn't think that he was going to be a guy that came back.
Yeah, I know him as Flashy Belt, because he does have that
Yeah.
iridescent, flashy style, the quote unquote what the kids call the baseball drip. So he's got that all figured out. But
Well,
yeah,
here's
I
an interesting thing for you is that so um, during the jersey auctions, I had a couple of players that told me that they wanted the Machado jersey. And that's odd to me that they were, here's people on his team that are like, hey, if you can get Carlos's jersey, get it for me. And so I that tells you a little bit about what the players in the clubhouse think of him.
I mean, if he's a good glue piece, he's being brought back for a reason. I think a full year of health will do justice for the RailCats. The small sample size we get with injury, he put up impressive numbers. So he's a good one to bring back. And I'm just interested to see how he does in the 2026 season. So this one's a bit of a shocker to me. I think it was a shocker to you because at the end of the season, we last knew that he was not coming back to baseball in general, and that is Jake Hoover.
Right.
He is not coming back as a infielder. He is coming back as a pitcher. So before you get into your thoughts, just real quick, he right-handed pitcher going to be now. He's 6 foot 185, 28 from Michigan. He was drafted in 2019 to the Texas Ranger in the 28th round. So the last time he pitched was in college. There's a couple like Atlantic League where he pitched in there, but I didn't throw those numbers in there because there's like one or two games and his ERA was like completely blown out of proportion, and it's probably because he wasn't trained to be a pitcher. So the 1 year that he pitched in college, he had an ERA of 8.44. 4 games started in two of those, had 10.2 innings pitched. He had 20 hits against 11 runs. 10 were earned, gave up 1 home run, walked 4, struck out 5, didn't hit anybody. He had a whip of 2.25. Hits per nine was 16.4, and home runs per nine was zero point 0.8. Walks per nine was 3.4, strikeouts per nine 4.2, and strikeout to walk ratio was 1.25. This is what Jeff had to say. Jake has shown he has a big arm. I look forward to seeing what he can do on the mound. He will be competing for his spot this spring training. Chuck, your thoughts?
So I was very sad at the end of last year when I talked to Hoover and he told me that that was going to be his last year. Because I love the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is a great personality. He is a great guy to have in the clubhouse. He is a great guy to just talk to. Um, Great guy to have on your team. And so I was like, really, come on, man, just come back one more time. And so seeing him come back as a pitcher is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I hope that I hope that he has great success. Let's see what happens.
And I mean, worst case scenario as well is if someone gets hurt. Like, knock on wood, no one does. I mean, but injuries do happen. But if it's someone in the infield and they need someone to spot, well, it's not like you don't have an infielder already.
Right.
Um, so it's
I I think that uh you know, go back to look at the roster, you typically have, 11, 12 players and, 13, 14 pitchers. A lot of times you don't necessarily have a spare pitcher role to just kind of use up. And so I think he would have to perform to get a spot like that. But let's say he does go out there and perform, or he does go out there and he has some halfway decent stuff to chew up some innings. You keep a guy like that on the roster and then use him wherever you need to use him. So I think that's great.
yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting. I think it's gonna be difficult, especially not pitching X amount of years and then kind of thrusting yourself back into that role, it's going to be interesting nonetheless. So that's why I kind of wish that this year the RailCats could at least announce when they're having spring training games, or at least put something on TV so that like people can think. I would just be interested to see what he does. I don't think they're going to
I,
do
I
that, but
I just want to see. I just want to see him.
yeah,
So I'm sure
that's
when the games are taking place, I'm sure I'll be able to go out there and catch one or two of them. But I just want to see him again, see how he's doing, have a
yeah.
conversation with him.
Next one, I'm glad I was with the old regime. I wasn't sure if he was going to be sticking around after the season. But with Jeff, I'm glad that they brought back Jake Gunther, left-handed bat, power bat, someone that can play around with the plate a little bit. But he could play. He's scheduled as an outfielder. But he can also play first base. He bats left, throws left. He's 6'4", 230, 28 years old. From Wisconsin. He was drafted in 2019 by the Texas Ranger in the 7th round. He played 3 seasons in the minors. His 4 seasons with Indy Ball, he played for Juliet, Missoula, Lake Erie, Winnipeg, and Gary. He has almost 250 games played in Indy Ball specifically, over 240 hits. Let's see here, 19 home runs. So this is what he did with the RailCats last year. He played in 60 games. He had 203 at bats, 28 runs, 46 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs, 27 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing, 26 walks, 28 strikeouts. He slashed a 277, a 323, 335 for an OPS of 658. This is what Jeff had to say. Jake is a good player to have for your roster. He has a fantastic feel for the zone and can hit the ball hard. Jake can play numerous positions like the outfield and first base, and you still feel comfortable having him in there defensively. Chuck, your thoughts?
This one was one of those that it definitely caught me off guard. Because uh didn't know how he felt about playing in Gary, don't know how he felt about playing on the team. But I did get some feedback that actually the guys really enjoy having him
Mhm.
and they enjoy his work ethic. So um I hey, the guy produced and he was great to have out there. Love having him back.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that you see a lot, what I was impressed with mostly with him is when I'm going back and looking at his stats, especially from last year. I mean, there's not a lot of people on last year's roster that walked 26 times and only struck out 28.
Exactly.
Like that's just impressive, and having a 227 batting average is up there with it. I mean, would you like to see a little bit more power numbers? Yeah, but I mean, if he's going to be able to move the line and hit the ball hard, and I mean, we don't need you want home runs, but we don't necessarily need it as long as you're producing and moving the line
Yep.
necessarily, and that's how
Yep.
you're going to win more games, especially
Left,
at the steel
left,
yard.
left-handed hitter, left-handed power fits right in there in the wheelhouse with what we need at home.
Okay, and then I think this is the big one that you and I both enjoy. I would almost put him down as the captain of the team, as from a morale standard, and that would be LG Castillo. He returns for is going to be his 5th season with the RailCats. 3.5, 4.5. He came halfway in through what was it, 2022 correctly? I remember. Yeah, I think yeah.
2023 came in with
Was it 2023? Yeah.
we only had a handful of games left at the end of that season.
He plays the outfield, bats right, throws right. He's 6'2", 215, 26 years old. And that I just want to stop there. LG's been with the team for so long. I feel like he should be closer to 28, 29, 30, but he's only 26. Like
Right.
that, and he gives off that persona of he's a much older, mature player, and he's only 26 years
I,
old.
I want to throw this. So I talked to LG.
Mm-hmm.
He finally ended up calling me back. We've been playing phone tag and what have you, and I sent him a message saying, "Hey, you're signed. I'm glad I'm going to get to see you again here, buddy." And so he calls me back and he says, "Once I saw Gunther was signed, I knew I had to call Jeff and get this done as soon as possible."
Nice.
So that just shows you how Gunther works out. But with LG, this is another thing that he said to me, and I think he would say this to anybody. Um, he wants to play in Gary.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that there was talk that, this team was interested, that team was interested, and he essentially said, I only want to play in Gary. And so, Jeff, let's get this done. So last year he had a good year last year. Um, a lot of the times he made contact was absolutely
Yep.
killed the ball to somebody.
Hmm.
And hey, that'll happen, but the power that he had last year and him coming into this year, I think is fantastic. And I tend to see that these players that are around the 25, 26, 27, maybe even 28 seems to be when they kind of hit this peak
Yep.
of just playing really good ball. And so this might be his best year yet.
Yeah. He is from Buffalo, New York. He was drafted by the Brewers in 2017 in the 17th round. He played 4 seasons in the minors. He played 4 seasons in independent baseball. He only played 20 games with Washington, and the rest of the time was with Gary. I didn't take his last year's stats. I just combined all of Gary's stats together. He's played 331 games. He's had 1,274 at bats, 157 runs, 336 hits, 51 doubles, 11 triples, 20 home runs, 162 RBIs, 21 stolen bases, got caught stealing 7 times, walked 49 times, struck out 227 times. He slashed a 253, 289, a 342, and an OPS of 631. This is what Jeff has to say about LG. LG is a great person for the clubhouse. He also shown off some tremendous power last year. I was incredibly impressed with some of the exit velocity I saw from him last season. I know you gave most of your thoughts already with LG. Uh, Once LG gets going, there's no slowing him down. I think last year it was kind of a stumble out of the gate a little bit with him. I don't know if it was just kind of the system that Lamar kind of had in place a little bit, but you kind of saw him at the end of the season, started picking it up, started really getting. I mean, he was below the 220 most of the year, and then you kind of saw it just gradually start to rise, and he caught fire. And we had this discussion last year. I mean, he's a cornerstone piece of the team, and you can't. It's hard to take a clubhouse guy out of that because he does bring the fire, the grit. When the team is down, he's typically the first one up, trying to get everyone going, and he's competitive, and he cares about Gary. So it's just one of those situations where you have to bring him back, and you're going to have to give him a spot. And there's just he has to work himself off the team necessarily, and he hasn't shown any reasons why he would work himself off.
Now here's the downfall. He's playing in Puerto Rico,
Okay.
and he's probably going to wind up being a couple weeks late to the season.
And
We had Del Valle a couple years ago,
yep.
or maybe that ended up going to the into the Puerto Rico playoffs and stuff. And I think he was like 3 weeks into the season before he made it. That's essentially going to be where LG's at.
And I'm fine with that. I mean, if he's going to be a little bit late and he's going
But
to
he's
hit.
ready to play.
I
That's
mean, he's going to hit the ground. The only thing that I fear, I don't know the Puerto Rican league as well, but like if they play the amount of games and the amount of time, it's more spread out.
three games a week.
Okay, so that's better because I was saying if he's playing 100 games in a season, then you go to the playoffs, and by the time you roll around, like the fatigue's eventually going to set in, and then you know you're talking. I know with Puerto Rico, I mean that's technically their summertime, right? Or is it
Yeah.
there's no?
It's
Well, it's warm. Okay, it's still
right.
warm. I'm just saying.
75. I think he said 75 every day.
Well, it's better
So,
than 5 degrees outside right now.
right.
But no, if he's going to be able to hit the ground running, and I think the past couple years he really hasn't been playing baseball for winter. He was mostly
Right.
working or just training. So with that kind of aspect of it, he's seeing the ball, he's getting live pitching. He's going to be able to come into the season a little bit warmer than most. So that's always batters. I'm not so much concerned with going to like those kind of leagues. It's always pitching I'm kind of wary about because your arm does need rest, and I know you're only playing 3 games a week, but still it could wear on you depending on
Yeah.
how the coaches are using you out there. Um, And then I would say that no argument here, but the ace of the staff is coming back in Peyton Long, right-handed pitcher. He's 6'4", 205, 28 years old, from Iowa, drafted by the Brewers in 2019 in the 30th round. He played 2 seasons in the minors, 3 seasons indie ball with Rocky Mountain and Gary. In his 3 seasons, in in independent baseball. He has a record of 220 and 24, ERA of 5.04. He pitched 136 innings, struck out 235 batters, walked only 100, gave up 27 home runs. He has a WHIP of 1.47, hits per nine of 10.6, home runs per nine of 0.7, walks per nine of 2.7, and strikeouts per nine of 6.3. Strikeout to walk ratio is 235. Last year with Gary, he had a 7-8 record, ERA of 387. 20 games pitched, 20 games started, 2 complete games, 1 game shutout, 223 innings pitched. He gave up 137 hits, 53 runs, 6 home runs, 28 walks, 99 strikeouts, just so close to that 100th mark.
I know.
He hit 5 batters. He had a WHIP of 1.33, hits per nine of 10, home runs per nine of 0.4, walks per nine of 2, strikeouts per nine 7.2, strikeouts per walk 3.54. I didn't realize he had a very impressive year. He was lights out
Oh, he
last year.
did.
But just looking at the strikeouts, though, I really
He
haven't gone
had
back and looked and see. And
he had a couple of games that he just tanked, but um those couple of, I'm going to say probably 3 games uh that he tanked, and those 3 games is what ruined his ERA.
yeah, I mean,
Uh Other than that, he was lights out constantly. And I had heard that there was a chance that I believe he has a second child, or a second child on the way, that maybe it was he wasn't going to come back, he wasn't going to play anymore. And I was like, man, I would hate to see somebody that had such an upswing um last year, to end it, when there's so much more potential there. So I'm excited to see Peyton back. That was a lot of highlights this week, man. A lot of
yeah,
highlights of guys coming back, and even this next one, really excited about.
yeah. But real quick with Peyton,
Yeah.
yeah, I just obviously it's just gonna be the ace of the side. Just no hands down about it. And I mean, if he's more consistent throughout the year, I mean, there's no reason he can't make the All Star game. There can't be a reason that he might be the top pitcher of the league. It's just it comes down to those 1 or 2 games where you do falter, but through a 100 game season and you're starting in 20 games, you're gonna have those. But if he just minimizes the number, but he eats innings for you. This is what Jeff had to say for Peyton. Peyton got us out of some real tough spots last season. He made my job extremely easy when he could go out there and pitch deep into games. His competitiveness separates him from other pitchers in the league. And
I was counting those 99 strikeouts,
I we,
and
we
it's it, and I'm like, he just needs
yeah,
one more. And I told Jason, Jason, the first base coach, I'm like, Jason, he's got 97 strikeouts. He needs 3 more to hit 100. And then Jason went back and told everybody, and they're like, okay, we're paying attention. And then he gets to 99, and I think it was like the 8th inning, and they pulled him, didn't have him out there in the 9th. And I was like, come on, so close, but he had so many pitches. And then I was hoping he would come in the last game of the year and at least throw an inning and get a strikeout.
yeah.
You're so close on that 99. Uh, I'm going to go out on a ledge here, and I'm going to say that if Peyton has the year that I think he will have, I've got 115 strikeouts this year.
I can see it. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Peyton is he's a strikeout thrower, but he's also a good contact pitcher. He doesn't
Right.
give up a lot of home runs, so like when the balls are hit, I mean that's why his hits per nine are so high. I mean he's gonna give up hits, but I would rather them be hits versus home runs. He doesn't give up a lot of those.
I would wonder how many times he got guys to hit into double plays because he
Oh
would wind
yeah,
up giving up a hit, or guy would get on first and then boom, out of the inning with a double play. And it was regular. So very very controlled with where he's putting the ball. Um, when he was hot, their best pitcher in the league.
yeah, hands down. So this is more of a love for you, Chuck. You I think I'm gonna get you guys matching shirts because you just love this guy. Um, Cooper Edwards is next. Catcher. He bats right, throws right. He's 5'8", 170 pounds, 28 years old, from Texas. He went to Cameron University and Vernon College. He played 4 seasons independent baseball with Florence and Gary. In those 4 seasons, he's played 145 games. He slashes a 153, on base percentage of 260, 212, OPS of 471. But his caught stealing numbers, and this is really just comes from Gary in general, because the Frontier League didn't have those numbers, but he's sitting at a 23% with Gary. Um, not, I mean, not a lot of RBIs, not a lot of home runs, not a lot of hits. We'll get into it in a second. Last year with Gary, he's most games he's played with 56 games, 174 at bats, 16 runs, 28 hits, 8 doubles, 1 triple, 15 RBIs, 1 stolen base, 18 walks, 50 strikeouts. He slashed a 161, 247, 218 OPS of 466. His caught stealing percentage was 24%. This is what Jeff had to say about Cooper. As a former pitcher myself, I understand what a catcher like Coop can do for our staff. An underrated aspect in any sport is comfortability, and pitchers always find comfortability with Cooper behind the plate. Chuck,
Yep,
your thoughts?
that's it. That's exactly it. I don't know a single pitcher on that staff that did not say I want Cooper behind the plate. And hey, a guy like Cooper is a big plus when it comes to Peyton Long. You always saw Cooper out there
Yep.
with Peyton. And so, when you get a relationship like that with a pitcher and a catcher, um, I mean, hey, I I was nervous when we signed that other catcher, and I was nervous that um, Jeff maybe didn't see the value in Cooper that you might get a manager that comes in and says, "Well, I want a pitcher or a catcher that can throw up the numbers," or "I want a catcher that can do this or a catcher that can do that." But Cooper's a great guy to have on the team.
Yeah, you're talking about Drew Stingren as was the catcher.
Right.
The thing is when once I saw that Drew was signed, the probability of signing Cooper went up for me.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
The two reasons behind that. One, because Drew is younger and he's more of a reliable defensive catcher. He doesn't have a lot. He's almost similar with Cooper as far as batting average and all the other stuff that he has aspect of going. But he's 24 years old. He's younger. Cooper is 28. He's been in the league for 4 years, and this would be a mentoring aspect of it, as you have a defensive catcher and another defensive catcher, and if you can get those two to collide, they can probably split 50-50 throughout the year, and the amount of change behind the plate will be minimal because your pitching staff is going to be more accustomed to uh a catcher that's probably going to call a better game, and it's going to be able to throw out, be able to throw out runners and not have to worry about, oh, is he going to catch this if I throw it in the dirt?
Right.
They don't have to. The comfortability aspect of it kind of is there, and I think with Drew and Cooper, it's going to be a nice tandem of two catchers defensively. They may not give you the offensive numbers, but if you're a pitcher that's going to feel like, hey, I gotta throw this slider or a curveball down away in a dirt in a 3-2 count, and I have bases loaded or a runner in scoring position or something like that, that I can trust that even if the guy doesn't swing, someone's going to be able to stop it. And I think that was a lot of issue with previous catchers was the comfortability wasn't there, and so you saw pitchers not be able to paint the corners or trust their stuff because you don't have defensive people behind the plate. And with Jeff being a former pitcher, he understands that aspect of it. So his idea of a catching role might be different than maybe an offensive minded manager who thinks I just need offensive production. And if this is what he's going for, I'm fine with that. If you're gonna tell me that my catcher is gonna hit in the 7, 8, 9 spot, but he's gonna throw runners out, he's not gonna have a lot of balls past him, he's not gonna go up a lot of wild pitches or whatever the case may be, I'm good with that. You're,
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Yep. Yep. And that's what you get with Coop. So, give me and yeah, I could see that mentor role type of thing where you're helping this other guy get better. Um, but Coop is man, I would hate to try to steal bases off of him
Oh,
because he's on money.
he is,
He's on money.
and even if he's not on money, we're talking like millimeters, inches
Right.
away from throwing someone out. And
Right.
and sometimes you can even blame people stealing bases on the pitcher at that point
Right.
because his arm is just so good. And he,
And
he
and, and he's great at commanding the game. I
yes.
mean, if he saw something, he'd talk to the pitcher. If something was going on, he was vocal about it. And I loved every time there's a play, he's running down to first base to back up the first baseman. Hey Coop, how's it going, buddy?
And I mean, realistic. And this is not saying he could play for X amount of more years. I'm just saying there is a role for him in coaching. I honestly think that
I
he
think
would be, and most great managers are catchers because they have to be able to call the game. Everyone thinks it's the pitchers, it's the shortstop, it's the center fielders. They're not the ones calling the game. Is you got the catcher. You get to the point so the catcher has to be on the same rhythm with the pitcher. Yeah, the pitcher can say yes, no, maybe so on something, but ultimately it's the catcher who sees the game and has the most study on batters and
yeah,
says this is how I would challenge this or how they would do. You have to have a lot of trust in your catchers, and it just shows with Jeff that he's going to trust these catchers to be defensive, and if they can focus on the defensive game, and it's going to be one of those again. We talk about it because we just haven't had it in years past. Is be able to command the strike zone, but also move from point A to point B, move the line. Like that's what we need. And if
right.
Drew and Cooper can just work on moving the line, that's all we need. That's honestly all that we need.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh, so yeah, um,
Yeah.
I think I think that wraps up most of what we kind of had to talk about. There's not really much to discuss outside of that. My
So
hands are
there's some rumors.
okay. Let's go.
Uh,
Let's go down the Chuck Polaric rumor mill real quick.
okay. Rumors are that we're going to be signing some more players that were already on the team, bringing back some guys, quite a few. And also the rumors that we've got a handful of guys that we are going to sign, and some have some MLB experience. So that's the rumors going on. I do believe that I was told that Joe Swazi might be coming back. And so that's one of those that would just make me all giddy. Uh, and yeah, I think that's it. Those are my baseball rumors.
Okay. Do you have a final out for this week?
Oh, there was one more. Jacob Coates also is possibly coming back to Gary,
Okay.
and I'm excited about that too because I like that guy. My final. Oh, we're done already. This is quick, man.
Chuck, I am freezing. It is
Oh,
11 o'clock at night.
So much baseball to talk about.
Well, if it wasn't for the Bears game on Sunday and my dad wanted to stay for the entire game for, which I'm perfectly okay with. I don't get to spend much time with my dad, so I appreciate that. And then it didn't help that the national championship game was going on. I worked till 6, but then also it was Jonathan Tave's first game back to the United Center, so like I had to watch that. The Blackhawks won 2-0 in a shootout. So but he got a 3-minute and like 30-second ovation. It was great. It was really good. So there
Who's
was
he
a lot
playing
of
for?
things that attested to.
Who's he playing for?
He plays for Winnipeg now. So there was a lot of things that delayed a lot of things to why it's so late. So Chuck, we will eventually have a day where signings will maybe slow down because I mean we're filling up the roster. You only have so many spots. Uh, it should maybe slow down a tad bit to where we can have a bigger discussion.
All right.
So what's your final out?
Um, you know, big upswing this week. Excited about that. Excited about RailCats baseball. In 15 days, 17 days, something like that. We start the RailCats Bowling League. And so that'll be great. This year, I think we really need to find a way to get guys names out there and to get the fans to recognize who the players are. Really just being focused on the players and giving them the props that they deserve as and then on an individual basis. So that'll be pretty cool. I have some ideas on how to do that, which I'm excited about. But that's it. That's my final out.
It's cold. Stay warm. I hope you have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening when you're watching this. And go get it.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wrap this one up in green and